Hey guys, it's Haley at Seamwork. Every month we get a ton of questions about the fabrics that we choose for the samples, so today I thought I'd give you a little tour of the August sample fabric. Let's start with the Emmie top. So the Emmie top is this really romantic, kind of flowing peasant-y style top. And so for this I wanted to choose fabric that was really drapey and soft and worked with all of the elastic that's going on with this garment, both at the neckline and on the sleeves. So first up, I have this Japanese tencel poplin. I really love this fabric. You can see it's really drapey, but what I love about the poplin is that it's densely woven, so it's nice and opaque, so you're not going to have to worry about showing too much underneath. Next up, I have this viscose crinkle crepe. I would liken this most to like a cotton gauze in its texture, but you can see that it's a lot more drapey than a typical cotton gauze. I just think that this fabric is so dreamy and ethereal. Little warning though, it is a little bit more on the sheer side, so you might want to plan in advance to make sure you have something you want to wear underneath, or not. You don't have to. And lastly, I have this really lovely double gauze. I think that double gauze is pretty well known in the sewing world now. This is pretty typical of what you'll find at your local fabric store. This is straight out of the envelope. It hasn't been washed. I'll probably wash this up before we sew samples, and it'll soften up and almost get kind of this really fluffy, luxurious tan to it, and I think it's going to be really great. What I love about this fabric is it has these little tiny embroidered metallic dots, and I think it'll just like catch the light and give it that something special. So let's talk about the Kenzie skirt. The Kenzie skirt is a really classic pleated skirt. It's about a midi length, and it has knife pleats. I think the kind of fabric you're gonna look for will depend on the look of the pleat you want. So if you want something that's really crisp and pressed and perfect, you can do something that's gonna press really nicely. I think wool is a great candidate for that. Or something like cotton that takes really high hot temperatures. But if you want something that's a little bit more flowy and organic, you can go with something like a georgette that isn't going to crease super heavily. We have two fabrics on that spectrum today for me to show you. So first, I have this really amazing blend. It is a Cupro Tencel linen blend, and what I like about it is that it has like the best qualities from all of these different fibers. The Cupro gives it like this really nice silky sheen. The linen provides like a little bit of a slubbiness, and then the Tencel just makes it hang like amazingly. And when I like just take my fingers and run a crease along it without any heat, it already takes it pretty well, so I know it's gonna pleat all right. You can kind of do this test at a fabric store to see how the fabric is looking. And then we have this really yummy silk georgette. For the pattern hack this month, we teach you how to do like a quick lining. So I wanted to do something sheer so you can kind of like show off the like transparency and opacity, and I thought it'd just be like a fun little detail. So georgette is really cool. It's a little bit more opaque than chiffon, but not opaque, totally opaque either. The yarns that it's made from are really, really highly twisted, and that's what gives it kind of this almost crepe-like texture that makes it different than a chiffon. And last but not least, can't forget to line our sheer skirt. I have this really great Bemberg fabric. I'm a big fan of Bemberg lining because it's a little bit easier to sew. You can see that it has slightly more body than like a crepe de chine lining would have. And I think that it just makes it a little bit easier to sew with. And something like this with the pleats is gonna stand up to the body of this fabric pretty well. So those are our fabrics for the August issue of Seamwork magazine. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments below and I'd be super happy to answer them for you. Thanks for joining me. Happy sewing.